Hello, everyone. This is Brian. It's your boy Brian. Welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. Um, Appreciate you stopping by. Spend some time with me for clicking on the video. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're living the life you want to live. I hope you're making money or you have money. You're doing things that make you happy. I hope the best for you. Hope your life is what you want it to be. And if it's not, I hope you're working towards it. All right. So today we were hopping into some more Reddit stories, but this time we are on a subreddit called True Off My Chest. Now, True Off My Chest is described as by Reddit as a place to get personal things off your chest, not for opinions, not for relationship advice, and not for preaching. So it's literally just a place for people to come to vent, to get things off of their chest, to say what they want to say, um, and just to get things out there, out in the open, air out their business on Reddit. Um, you know, because maybe they haven't had the opportunity to do so, or maybe they haven't had the right people to tell. So they come to Reddit and they let it all out. So today, the first story is told a white lie to a homeless guy. Now we're friends and I'm in too deep. All right. So I mean, it's a pretty interesting title. I'm kind of curious to see what they got going on. I don't really have too many first impressions. She lied. This person lied to a homeless guy. Now we're friends, and I'm in too deep. So let's hop in. I'm a girl in my late-ish teens, not an adult, and definitely not able to drink. Not in college. I live with my parents, as most minors tend to do. Okay. I know a guy named Josh. I can't remember how old he is off the top of my head, but he's definitely way older than me. 30s? 40s? He sits outside the pet store near my house some days with his dog, and one day I bought his dog a treat and then sat down to give him some cash and talk with him. That's nice. It's real nice. We ended up talking for an hour or so, maybe more. He was super cool and genuine. At the end of it, he asked my name. I told him Matilda. Matilda? I like the name Matilda, but it's not something that you see. The name Matilda is not common. So like honestly, if somebody came up to me and told me that their name was Matilda, I would my very first thought would be this person's lying or they're giving me like a false name. Matilda. Okay, which is not my real name. I figured I'd never see him again. Spoiler alert, I saw him again multiple times. And eventually, I started seeking him out, driving by just to see if he was there so I could get him a coffee and we could chat. He's never been creepy to me in the slightest, never touched me or even looked at me weird. Never pushed for any information. Okay, so I mean, he seems like a decent dude. Seems like a decent dude so far. Moving on. I gave him my phone number so we could coordinate him showing up to my work. I work at a bakery, so I could give him some free food. That's a that's a little dangerous, right? This teenage girl is gives a random guy her phone number so that he could go to her job. I mean, she's obviously a very nice person, and she's just trying to help this guy out. But she's putting herself in a dangerous position. It's a little much, right, for a teenage girl. Um, he's a sweet guy who's never really done anything wrong, just got the short straw. He loves his dog like family. As we talked, we started exchanging life details, and I ended up spinning another lie about being vaguely in college, using the plans I have for once. I'm actually in college and no real specifics, but obviously I don't know what being a college student is like, and I don't know if he can tell I'm BSing. At this point, ignorance might be bliss. I saw him again today and we chatted real briefly. He asked if I he asked if he was allowed to ask how old I was, and I ended up saying no, and he respected it. Didn't even push it at all, but it's clear that he thinks I'm an adult. He invited me to make some money doing a side gig with him in exchange for driving him around, which I awkwardly declined. He just texted me saying we should hang out away from his usual hobo spot. Made a joke about going fishing and seeing me reel in a fat salmon. I can't. I don't necessarily want to. I like helping this guy out where I can. I like chatting with him, but I do not want to spend time with him outside of that. I don't want to text like we're friends. I need to stress how not creepy this is. I look old as heck for my age. He has no reason to believe I'm lying. The only person who's done anything wrong here is me, and I don't know how to get out of this. Okay, yeah. So she kind of did put herself in a situation like she's seems to be a very nice person, just trying to help somebody out that's down on their luck, which is super nice of her, right? But she did kind of take it a little far by giving out her phone number and then inviting him to her job so that she can give him food. Um, she definitely could have kept it. She didn't have to make it that personal. You know, if she wanted to give him food, she could just stop by, give him food, maybe hang out for a few minutes, see how he's doing, and keep it pushing, keep it moving. But she definitely opened the door up for him to start pushing things a little more as far as like getting to know her or hanging out with her because she offered up her phone number. Um, Now, from what she's saying, this guy doesn't seem like too much of a creep, but still, just to be safe, like giving out your phone number to strangers in general, um, even no matter how nice they may seem, is kind of dangerous, especially for a young woman. So, she thinks that she's in too deep. I wouldn't say she's in too deep, right? Like, just kind of slow down on your interactions with him. Don't see him as much as you normally would. There's nothing wrong with stopping by every now and again to check in on him or whatever, help him out, give him some food. But like, you can definitely like slow up or stop altogether if you want to. Um, Maybe try being honest with him. Um, tell him how you're feeling and that you're a little uncomfortable. Uh, Tell him not to give you a call anymore. It was maybe extending an offer was you kind of jumped the gun on extending that offer, and maybe he shouldn't give you a call or text you anymore. Yeah, and also it's pretty inappropriate for a guy his age, maybe 30s or 40s, to be hanging out with a girl in her late teens. Like that's not something that should be happening. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean you don't have to be scared about trying to get out of it. Um, Obviously, if you try to get out and he resists in any type of way, go go to someone to get help. Any friends you might have, like tell them about the situation. Your friends and family, tell them about the situation, and and get help where you need it. But hopefully it won't come to that. It seems like this guy seems like he's a decent dude, right? So like, if you were to tell him that you kind of want to end things, or like you're not comfortable with seeing him in that way outside of like stopping by his hobo shelter to help him out or to give him things, like he might take it all right. He might be fine with it, and you know, from what you said or from what OP has said, he doesn't really ever push things too far, right? Like he might ask a question, but then she'll give him an answer, and he'll kind of back off a little bit. So if you're honest with him, maybe he'll just back off. Ideally, he'll just he'll be fine with it, right? Yeah. So this it's a little bit of a weird situation, but let's see what other people think down in the comments. First comment: come clean. He'll get it if he's a nice guy. Plus, you seriously need to let him know you're a minor. He's already vulnerable, and people can be a-holes. The last thing this poor dude needs is someone maliciously reporting him for hanging with you. Yeah, that's a sensible comment. I agree. Um, if he is a nice dude, he will just kind of back off when you tell him that you don't want to spend time with him that way, and let him know that you're a minor. Once he hears that you're a minor, he might be like, "Oh, okay, like you go your way and do what you do." Like so. Yeah, this is a good comment. All right, next comment. Actually, there aren't too many comments on here. All right. It is not unreasonable to give a random guy like that some false life details, which is the next comment. Um, yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, you don't have to, a random stranger, you don't have to tell them everything about, you don't have to tell them anything about your life. You don't have to be honest with them, right? Especially if, like, you're only going to be seeing them every now and again. You're not, like, trying to establish a real, long lasting, deep connection with this person. It's fine to give a few white lies, right? Um, but obviously, you got to be a little bit more careful with the way that you do it. Um, yeah, yeah, man. Um, yeah, I mean, I really like how nice OP is and how she's going out of her way to do things for somebody that's down on their luck. Um, and I hope she continues to be that way. Just continues to be a light in other people's lives and just do nice things for people. But you just got to be more careful about it. All right. Moving on to the next story. I defecated in my family's living room at midnight and I don't remember doing it. This person took a big, fat, massive deuce in the middle of their family's living room at midnight specifically, and they don't remember doing it. Okay, now first thoughts for this one are they probably weren't in their like natural or like correct state of mind. Like it could have been maybe they had some alcohol, they were maybe a little bit too intoxicated, or they were under the influence of drugs, whether medicinal or non-medicinal. Maybe mental illness, maybe sleepwalking. Who knows, right? Um, but I mean, this is pretty funny. How do you drop a deuce in the living room at midnight and don't remember doing it? All right, so let's hop into the story and see what's going on. Today, my father woke me up to go to the gym as usual. I got ready pretty quick, so I lay down on the living room couch and waited for him to finish using the bathroom. After a couple of minutes of laying down, I noticed a putrid smell coming from where I was lying down. And to my surprise, it was poop. I was lying down in a pile of human effing poop. I didn't realize I was laying down on it because the lights are off and it was 4:30 a.m. So it was pitch black. I showed my dad and he instantly assumed I pooped my pants and it got on the couch, which pissed me off because I'm 17 and I was being accused of pooping myself when clearly the inside of my pants was completely clean. My sister and mom are out of town, so that only left me and my dad at the house. Plus, our house has an alarm system installed, meaning absolutely no one can get inside. After acknowledging that only one of us could have done this, my father came to believe that I was under that I was under demonic possession and that I committed this act while possessed in the middle of the night. What? That is an insane jump, dog. Like, how do you how do you just go straight to demonic possession? How? Why? Right? Like for somebody to make that jump, like that mental jump to just go from 0 to 60, like it could have been an accident, it could have been anything, and you go straight to demonic possession is like, whoa, right? The reason why he came to this conclusion is because my family is extremely religious, okay, except for me, the well known family crackhead. Oh my gosh. I have developed serious behavioral problems from a young age. I have been expelled from 3 different schools for fighting aggression, misconduct, intoxication, and just making people overall uncomfortable. Okay. I've also been sent to various mental hospitals. This led my family to believe there is some evil entity inside me. this whole time, I've been thinking that I was just your typical teenage delinquent, but after last night, I begin to think otherwise. I would like some opinions from both a logical standpoint and biblical standpoint. Is demonic possession possible? And if it is, what other signs could there be? I would also like to state that I was high on marijuana the night before this incident. I don't know if that could have triggered some sort of psychotic episode. Wow. Okay. So, jumping to demonic possession, I mean, the OP gave an explanation for why their father jumped to that conclusion. You know, OP's obviously had a lot of problems growing up. The family's very religious, very religious. OP's had a lot of problems, behavioral, developmental problems growing up. He's aggressive, either fighter, he's drinking, been sent to various mental hospitals. So you know, OP's kind of had things a little rough, starting at a young age. So the father jumping to demonic possession makes more sense than it did before the explanation. Um, yeah, this kind of took a little bit of a turn, um, and I still honestly want to know what what actually happened, right? I don't see an update or anything as to like that could explain that could explain like why OP took a poop in the middle of the living room and doesn't remember it. But yeah, let's hop into some comments to see what they got to say. The first comment, ooh, a spooky dookie. Oh my gosh. Next comment, does your father ever drink or sleepwalk? It could have been him. Maybe he is the one possessed. Maybe. Yeah, who knows? Um, Consider you might check yourself into a dual diagnosis inpatient treatment facility for drug and mental health care. Time away from your family will be a great start, and getting to the core of why you are using drugs over several posts to escape a crappy reality or family/home life or past trauma. You are young, so this is the best time to get to really know yourself and heal the hurts that most certainly exist, given the little you shared about your family. Even if you don't choose a 28-day program, please consider getting into regular therapy. I witnessed the abuse and hidden secrets in families that are hidden so deep. Do you ingest aspartame or other artificial sweeteners? Drinks like Coke Zero can cause loss of bowels. Best wishes. Okay. Yeah, so this comment is pretty much saying that like, you know, things could be the family's home life wasn't explained. We don't know why OP is going through everything that he's going through. Like maybe, you know, the family home life is not great, and that's what's causing him to or OP to kind of act out the way that they have, and you know, consume drugs and alcohol to kind of deal with their life circumstances. Um, yeah, so hopefully OP can get the help that they need, and um, hopefully they post. I mean, this was only posted a day ago, so hopefully they post a post something to explain like what actually happened, to give us a little bit more details, just so that we know, because now I'm curious. But all right, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Moving on to the third and final story. I am secretly my boyfriend's live stream viewers. That's nice. Um, it's very nice. You know, boyfriend is streaming, and you know this person is giving them views. So you know, first impressions, that's super nice. You know, it's a very nice thing to do for your partner. Um, and I know, I mean, I haven't done it personally, but I know a lot of people starting off live streaming can be hard. It can be a hard road to start and to gain viewers and to gain popularity. So helping this person out in this way is a very nice thing to do. Let's hop in and see what's going on. My boyfriend has just started streaming and he seems pretty excited about it. He didn't buy a whole setup yet, but live streams whenever he is on. I streamed briefly and know how hard it is to get viewers. I open multiple private viewers browsers on my personal laptop, work laptop, and phone. This way, I can have a stream going and it counts as multiple viewers. Okay. When he saw 4, he was stoked. Nice, you know. To be excited, I mean, four viewers is not that much, and to be excited about that is great. It kind of shows his mindset, like, you know, being happy about 4 viewers is a great way to start. You know, it's only 4 viewers, but he was so happy. There's very little in this world right now that can cause that genuine happiness and expression. I sit on the other side of the couch with the volume down on all devices and just pretend I'm doing schoolwork. Edit. Wow. I appreciate the kind comments. I haven't shared his link because the purpose of this post was to get something off my chest and not to farm subs. Okay. I believe he is capable of it. I believe he is capable of it on his own. It's just to keep him motivated, and I have already shared with friends and family. Okay. I don't want him to find out. He plays Warzone Vanguard. Perhaps you'll come across his stream in the future. He streams on Twitch. I give him 4 viewers, not 1,000. This is something I've literally done for the past 2 weeks. Do not tell me I have copied and pasted. I have no reason. Also, thank you for the awards. I'm fairly new to Reddit and I enjoy this community. Oh, that's super nice, man. And I love how he was excited on over having 4 viewers. Like that's this is so this is so nice. This is so wholesome. And the fact that like even after posting this, she 100% could have been like, "Hey guys, you know, go and watch my boyfriend's live stream." You know, she could have 100% used Reddit as a platform to get more viewers for him, but she didn't even do that. Like, she wants him to do it the legit way. She believes in him enough to, you know, that he can do it on his own and doesn't need handouts from her. Like, you know, I this is awesome, man. I love seeing stuff like this, especially on Reddit. Like, I don't. Most of the stories on Reddit are, you know, at least the subreddits that I frequent aren't this nice. So maybe I should start looking out for nicer stuff, you know. But yeah, so let's hop down into the comments and see what the comments say. Final words on your deathbed to your boyfriend, future husband. I was all 4 of your live stream viewers. Oh my gosh. That would be so funny, man. Like, that'd be hilarious. Next comment. The great thing is people are more likely to watch him if he's got a few viewers, so you are really helping out. As someone who no one watches, I appreciate you. Yeah. So I mean, you know, this person understands where OP is coming from and understands where OP's boyfriend is coming from as being a streamer that's just starting out. So I mean, this is a super nice, super wholesome story, and I love seeing this. This comment says, "I'm literally crying over a hypothetical deathbed confession. LOL." Yeah. So I mean, that's today's video. That's all 3 stories. We tried something a little different today with the true off my chest, and I think I like these stories. So we're definitely going to be switching it up a little bit more. Thanks again for joining me. Please join me again. You know, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, just keep rocking with me, and hopefully eventually I can get some viewers, and you know, we can make this thing big. So thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.